Good evening, everyone. Good evening, Sir Chooks. Welcome to another class.
Good evening.
Happy
Good evening, Odeme.
Good evening.
Yeah,
Good evening, everyone.
good evening. So please let's remind our friends classes are started. Over to you, Sir Chooks. I've made you co-host.
All right, thank you, Odeme. So please let's get to remind others of the first class for the week, not the last class, or the first class for the week. I'll just give a few minutes.
Mr. Abiola, I see you've overcome the challenges that technology brought your way. It's good to see you on the call.
Thank you very much. I've not really totally overcome it. The issue is with my system and my phone Gmail app is having issue. So I just had to manage and use my second phone, which has been abandoned for a while. But I should be 100% okay by tomorrow. Thank you.
Gambo Usman, you look like the first person that always joins this class.
Hi, good evening.
Sorry,
Good evening, how are you?
your voice broke at the time. I don't know if you were talking to me.
Abiola, are you the one speaking?
Yes, it's Abiola. Abiola, yes.
Okay, no. I think it
Okay,
was
okay.
Udeme that was just welcoming you back with your device.
Oh yeah. Thank you.
Udeme rather. Gambo,
Hi, good evening.
good evening, how are you?
I'm fine. Thank you.
How is it going?
Fine. Everything is fine.
Okay, that's good. Utibe, Happy New Year.
Mr. Chooks, good evening. Please, I need help. Oh.
Yeah, I helped already.
The syllabus that you mentioned, please, is there like a link to it? Because
Not them. Not fast until they do assignments, not them. Remember this, not them it is.
I need help, I beg.
If you have asked one of your colleagues for help,
I don't even know who to ask. Okay, let me see if I can find
that
someone.
fosters collaboration.
You are in a channel with 90 something people and you say you don't know who to ask. Huh.
Village people around. It's
I
not
don't want to
obvious.
ask the wrong person, but let me, let me ask.
Utibe,
Hello, sir. Good evening.
good night, ma. How are you doing?
I'm well, thank you. How are you too, sir?
I'm good. You understand what I'm asking to, right?
Everything is going well, sir.
All right, Tessie Williams. Tosin Williams,
Good evening.
how are you today?
I'm fine. Good evening, sir.
Okay, that's nice. There's somebody that I'm still looking for. Oh, Gloria. Gloria, you know helped. But you're still looking for help.
I'm still looking for help, sir, Biko, if you can.
Deserve it. You go and search for it online. Assignment for
Let me
you.
see if I can search for it on the channel.
In the next 5 minutes, you should tell me that you have downloaded it.
Okay, sir.
All right. Dare Parkinson, I greet you.
Utibe and Gloria sound alike somehow. Is it just
That
me?
is
Utibe, do you have a twin sister that you don't know about?
I don't, sir.
Are you sure?
100%.
Your DNA test going on. All right. Okay, so we are still 31. While we are waiting to get to 40, let's do a recap. Adebisi Paul. Adebisi Paul. Please tell me what you remembered from yesterday. Adebisi Paul. Adebisi Paul. Okay, but Adebisi is not there. Victor Koha. Koha Victor. Koha Victor. Are you there?
Hey, good evening.
Yeah, good evening. How are you today?
Very good. Happy Sunday.
Happy Sunday. Okay, Adebisi, no problem. Victor, tell us what you learned.
Okay. Yeah, yesterday you talked about defect, severity, and priority. You started with defect, severity, and priority. Yeah. So, from what I understood, for defect severity, like it's a measure of how much a defect affects the functionality of the software project. You said it's also known as bug severity. Then you also said there are ways in which you can determine defect severity, like impact on functionality, impact on importance of function, then client's requirements, and okay, I think those are the three. Then you also talked about severity levels, critical, high,
Okay, it's fine,
medium.
it's fine. Don't finish
Yeah.
my class. Thank you.
Thank you.
Revelation. Revelation. Where's Charles? I'm looking for Charles. Charles is not here yet. Revelation, you know yourself. So review to us what was revealed to you yesterday.
okay. Good evening, sir. Happy Sunday. So yesterday about I would like to start from where the last person saw.
Hear these words, Sarah. It's okay.
Can you hear me?
You
Can
can
you
do
hear
better.
me?
Better.
I said good evening and I said happy Sunday. So I said that
Oh,
what
happy
I like,
Sunday.
I will start from where the last person stopped it. So one thing I really got to understand yesterday is that when you were asking question about maybe somebody's trying to transfer and the person did erroneous transfer, so you were now asking if it's a critical severity or it's a high one. So someone said it's critical, and you said when it comes to software testing them, it is not critical since the app is working. So you now explain to us that we should not go and be arguing that in software testing language that it's this one, it's high, it's low, that it depends on the organization, like the stakeholder we are working with. So it's to differentiate between this is a critical severity, this is high, and this is the third one. I think there were 3 yesterday. So I got that part.
Thank you. You have done well. And where is Charles? Obi Benjamin. Obi Benjamin. Let me hear you. Agule Sarah is here. Obi Benjamin, you are already at the 40 mark. Obi Benjamin. Okay, let me look for trouble now. Vivian Vincent.
Hello, good evening. Can you hear me?
Okay, go ahead, Benjamin.
Yeah, so for yesterday we talked a bit about the test levels. We talked about the component testing. We talked about component integration, system testing, and the other ones. Like I remember, I think component testing, focuses on testing like different bits, like in little phases or interface, I think. It's like from
You can give a practical example.
Let's say kind of like the OP app. Let's say we'll test if the biometrics is working to open the app. That's one thing that we're testing. And then we'll probably test if maybe when you want to send to another bank, if it shows all the list of available banks to test. So we're basically testing like little parts of the stuff. So we're kind of like working our way up from there before we test the app all together. So we're doing like each individual component, we're testing them differently.
Thank you. The final person I will call on, Vivian, I'm calling you because you said you will review over, you watch the video. So you might not answer from yesterday's class, but just to know that you are still with us. What have you learned so far from the video that you have reviewed? Hello, Vivian. Vivian Vincent, are you there? Okay, I think she's not with us. Let me see our assignments. I've been waiting for the eagle to land, and the eagle has landed. By the way, how did we see the assignment? Only 39 people responded out of 50 something. Yeah, we almost reached 60. I have only 39 responses. Oh, wow. That's a wow. Malik, Oyewumi, Ogunleye, Deborah, Gambo. Gambo, what your names are? Let me keep quiet. Abimbola, Sami, Oluwakemi, Okoha, Aina Victor, Rahma, Chidera. These are the only ones that submitted these assignments.
So please, I think at this point in time, you should stop sharing this slide. Just look at it with yourself.
I don't understand. David, what is going on?
I
Some people are
submitted
still.
though. I submitted assignment. I just didn't do the syllabus part. And I indicated in the assignment. I'm surprised Brian didn't go.
So Gloria, you did not see your name, Abi?
Yeah, I didn't get him. I didn't get my name. I'm shocked. But I submitted.
So please, let's go back and check the names. So later you check the assignment.
Leave the names. The names don't concern you for now. Let me increase it so that I can read along.
That is not fair. This is not fair.
Things we do for learning. Okay. This person. Oh my God. This was even cut a screenshot. Oh my God.
Oga Chuch, we are the one that helped them. We are the one that put that screenshot for them so that they know the testing you were talking about.
Yes, I know. I'm just amazed that the person cut it and still put it on the assignment. That's good. All right. Okay. I will remove the name so that you don't see who has the assignment. Okay. Okay. Wow. Jira X-ray. Okay. Hi. Udeme? Udeme? Hi, Udeme. Udeme, are you there? Yeah, I think she stepped out. Okay. I will have my laugh to myself later. Let's continue the class.
This is privacy escalation. This is
You cannot see anything now. You cannot see anybody's name. I've always scrolled out of the person's name so that you will not say it's Odinaka or Chukudike that did it. Philip, if the Sunday is not good, what do you want to do for us? I want to share money. Sorry. Your names will not show. Like that, you don't know who it is. So let me stop sharing. So I'm very stories that well, it's fine, it's part of learning, right? You get some and then you miss some. It's just part of life, right? I think that brings me out to start what we have for the day. And I'll start with what Gloria neglected to do, which was ask question. I'll start with that. As a software tester, ask ask anybody, whether it's the CEO, whether it's the GMD, whether it's the owner of the company himself. Ask him a question. Ask questions. Don't be shy. Don't be what? Shy. Ask questions. I think it's both in Yoruba and Igbo that he who asks questions never misses his way. Like Gloria now, if I'm to score her, I already score 0 because they have submitted the exam or the test or the assignment, and then she's now coming to even ask me, I'll not tell her that even when you did yesterday, maybe you also copied it, right? All I'm pushing at is ask questions. Ask questions. Don't be scared of asking questions. Don't be ashamed to ask questions. As I said previously, there's a point you are at, no question is foolish. There's a point you are at, your foolish question is what opens the door to the great idea. There's a point you are, your foolish question is what opens the door to the great idea that will propel your company forward. They might not see your foolish question as the door opener, but anytime you see that after your question, somebody brings up a brilliant idea, just know that your question was the key that opened the door. So don't be scared to ask questions. No question is foolish for your level. Hello, because we are dealing with 0 to 2 years. For your level at 0 years, when you are going to 1, 1.5, 2, you should minimize your foolish questions. Do we get? So please, that's that. Okay, so what do we have for the day? Let me share my screen. And then let's roll. Yeah. Harry and Harry and Dari, thank you for helping out in the class. More success in your career as a software tester. Okay. By the way, I have some fellow testers in my house, and they are the ones that have decided to play with my, or rather to help me rearrange my class. Let me use that word. They helped me rearrange my class. Revelation, they are there. What I say to one, I say to all. Okay. All righty. So we are going to be doing techniques today. Test techniques. What are test techniques? They support the tester in test analysis. And remember, test analysis speaks to what to test. And in test design, how to test. Test techniques helps to develop a relatively small, note that word, but sufficient. Test techniques help to develop a relatively small, note that, but sufficient set of test cases systematically. Test techniques also help the tester to define test conditions, identify coverage items, and identify test data during the test analysis and design. There are 3 categories of test techniques, but before I go to the 3 categories, let me explain the test techniques better. if you are supposed to write 1,000 test cases for the product, if you use test technique, you might be able to cut down that 10,000 to about 300, 500. I'll repeat that. When you use a test technique, you are supposed to write about 1,000 test cases. You can end up writing probably 400, 500. Now, as a beginner, please don't write high-level test cases. Write low-level. When I say low-level, to the barest minimum, to ensure I can click the button. To ensure when I click the button, this page shows. That's low-level. You are tearing the thing apart. When we get to test cases, I will explain better. But as you grow, you can now decide to write high-level test cases because you now understand the intricacies of testing. Because you have now known that, okay, when you write this sentence, it encapsulates a whole lot of things. Example, to ensure the user can log in with the appropriate email. As a mature tester, you know that you also check if the email is complete, it has an @ sign. If it has an extension, if the extension is correct, if the email can take spaces, if the email can take numbers, if the email can take pictures. Now, notice what I said. When you are advancing or when you get at an advanced level, then you can now write high-level test cases. Because you have an understanding that that high-level test case has a whole lot of test scenarios or test conditions or tests you can carry out in just that one line. The one line being the example of to ensure the user is able to log in with appropriate email. For your level now, what I would say is to ensure the user is able to log in with appropriate email, to ensure the user is not able to log in with email that does not have an extension, email that does not have an @ symbol, email that does not have a space, continuations like that. That's at your level. Now you break it down to the barest minimum. So you say it before you start writing high-level test cases. All right. Okay, so there are 3 categories of test techniques. There's the black box test technique, also known as specification-based technique. There's the white box technique. The black box is known as specification-based because you must test with a requirement. You must test with a document. You must test based on a specification. If you don't have any specification, you're not doing black box testing. You might be doing another type of test. I'll repeat that. If you don't have any documentation, you are not doing black box test. You might be doing something else. So in these categories, we have subtopics or other. Okay, David, go ahead, please.
Sorry, I want to ask. So you said if we are not testing with a document, then we are doing another form of testing. Please, is it the BRD you're talking about?
Yes, BRD, all the documents you outlined. BRD, technical specification documents, your Figma design, your functional design, any document that will help you to understand whether it's the mind mapping. Don't use the mind mapping because your mind might not be mapped according to your thinking pattern at that point. So don't use that, but you can use it just for understanding. So any document that will help you understand what you are testing, then you are doing black box. Please don't take me to unit testing. Don't take me to white testing. I'm based on black box now. So don't take it to the other types of test techniques. I'm based on black box. So you must use a document to do a black box test. There are 4 techniques we can use under black box. 1 is equivalence partitioning. 2 is boundary value analysis. 3 is decision table testing. 4 is state transition testing. As testers, this is our core. This is where we are mostly focused on, especially for our level, right? So I'll now go on to explain. Any question? No question yet. I'll go on to explain. Equivalence partitioning divides data into partitions, known as equivalence partitions, based on the expectation that all the elements of a given partition are to be processed in the same way by the test object. So what does it mean? I'll just give a picture. A picture is worth 1,000 words. No, this classwork. Let me go back. That's classwork. So we're preparing for classwork. And let me still use what my chancellor will say. Pay attention. So we have the number 1 to 10. And I'll say, Gloria, use equivalence partition to test. Okay, no, let me use 1 to 50. I say, Gloria, use equivalence partitioning to test the number 1 to 50. The number 1 to 50 can be broken down in different parts. We can have 1 to 10, 11 to 20, 21 to 30, 31 to 40, 41 to 50. Equivalence partition says if I pick between 1 and 10, any number, if I pick 1 in between 1 and 10 and 1 passes, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 will pass. If I pick between 11 and 20 and I pick number 15 and number 15 passes, it means 11, 12, 13, 14, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20 will pass. I'll repeat the last one. If I pick between 21 and 30 and I pick number 30 and it passes, it means 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, and 30 itself would pass. Now, if I pick in between 31 to 40 and I pick, let's say, 37, and 37 fails, it means 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 38, 39, and 40 will fail. If I pick between 41 to 50 and I pick 43 and 43 fails, it means 41, 42, 44, 45, 46, 47, 48, 49, and 50 will fail. That is to say, in summary, if one test in a partition passes, every other member of that partition will pass. If a member of a partition fails, every other member of that partition would fail. That is why it's called equivalence partitioning. They are equal, they have equal outcome. If you don't understand, let me know now, because we want to do classwork. If you understand, just put yes. Only one person, 2. Zeno, okay, 3, 4, 5, okay. Okay. Oh, Charles, welcome. Okay. 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 Continue. Put yes or no. Please, let's be fast so that we can wrap up this by this week. The first class of the week. Okay. You would have said no. Hope you are listening. It's not that because I've now said classwork now, all of you have woken up and now you want to now come and do classwork. Barry, please take note of those that will pass this to use as part of assessment, because this is one of your strengths as a QA person. So I will go over it again, right? I will use money because most of us, we resonate better with money. I picked 10 ladies, right? And I picked 10 men. I picked 10 boys and I picked 10 girls. I check one of the 10 men's account number or account statement, and he has about 20 billion euros. What it simply means is the remaining 9 have 20 billion euros in their accounts.
Amen.
I pick a lady, right? And then she has women like money. And she uses Bond Street. She has 2 million private jets in her hangar as hands. It's her own. It means that the 10 women in that circle all have 200 jets as their own. I go to the boys and I see that one is naughty. It means all the boys, the 10 boys are all naughty. I go to the girls and I pick one and she can plait hair beautifully. It means the whole 10 girls can plait hair beautifully. Summarizing this, what happens to one in the group happens to all. Away. He says it's more complicated. Did you understand the first one? If you understood the first one, don't listen to
I
the second
understood
one.
it.
So keep that one in your mind. Those that did not understand it before have spoken their language. Okay,
Revelation
Deborah.
wants to explain to us.
Yes, she wants to give us a revelation. Please review to us what you understood.
Hey, well, okay, let me try.
Go ahead.
What is
Please.
maybe I said, like, I'm trying to explain what you said. You said, for example, we have like number 1 to 30, for example. So number 1 to 30 are shared into 3 batches. We know they are 10, 10, 10. So it means that out of the first batch from 1 to 10, if you should pick number 5 to actually do a particular exam, and that number 5 passes, it means number 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10, like all of them in that batches, they all pass the exam. Move to the next batch, that's from 11 to 20. You pick one person out of them that, okay, this person is fair in completion. It means that in this equivalent partitioning, it means that all of them from 11, 12, 13, 14, 16, 17, 18, 19 to 20, they are all fair. And the last one, which is the last set of 30, that's from 20 to 30. If you should pick one out of them, and the guy you pick out of them knows how to play football very well, it means the rest can play football. That's what I understand, sir. Am I correct?
Tell me what you understand. David, okay, thank you. David is clapping for revelation. What a good revelation. Aregbe. Yes, Charles, that's correct.
Hello, can you
Opeyemi,
hear
go
me?
ahead. Yeah, I can.
I like I was carried away, but the explanation Deborah just gave, I actually understand. So
So
should I?
explain it in your own words.
Okay. So according to what she said if they are like okay, if they are like 30
Don't use an example, use your own example.
okay, let me use my example. Okay, let's say there are 20 people, then you divide the 20 into batches, or you divide the 20 into like 4 batches or 5 batches per se. So if they are like batch one, they are 4. So if you pick out one, and let's say the person is intelligent, that means definitely the rest are also intelligent. Then the next batch, if they are lazy, that means all of them in the batch they are lazy. Then the third batch, if they are I don't know if they are probably
You are
sick or
correct, you are
something.
correct.
So
Don't
yeah,
confuse yourself. You have done very
yes.
well.
So
Adebimpe
that's how I understand.
Adeniyi. Thank you, Opeyemi. You have done well. Adebimpe Adeniyi. Adebimpe Adeniyi. Are you there? Hello, unmute if you are muted. Hello. Okay, Adeniyi Adedolapo. If you don't answer me and I count 10, I'll call somebody else. 1, 2, 3. No, that will make you run. Abimbola Samson. Abimbola Samson.
Good evening, sir. Please, can you hear
Yeah,
me?
good evening. Yes, I can. Go ahead, please.
Okay, sir. If I understand Deborah very well, it means for every partitioning done, what happens to one happens to all, just like what Opeyemi just said now. So is equivalent to all the same way by the same process.
Okay, thank you. All those that wrote no before, if you still did not understand, write no. Those that wrote no before, if you did not understand, write no. If you understood, say yes. Just put it on the chat. Sharp, 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 sharp. If you understood, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Okay, cool. Assignment, classwork. Uh, classwork. An integer field shall contain values between and including 1 to 15. By applying equivalence partitioning, which of the following collection of equivalence classes for the given scenario? If you pick A, put A on the chat box. If you pick B on the chat box. If you C, take C on the chat box. Hope my chat box is not covering my question. Do you understand what this question is saying? Use equivalence partition to tell me which one you will choose at this point. If you are confused, please tell me. Don't go quiet on me, please. Thank you. I've seen one answer. Don't be in a hurry, but still try and be in a hurry. I've seen another answer. Okay. Thank you. Koa, we see in camera. Okay. It's okay to be confused. I don't expect you to get everything at once. So it's fine to be confused. Okay. 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 Thank you. We are up to 60 and this call will be 50. I cannot just be seeing only 10 responses. Does it mean that the others are not listening? You have joined the class and left. Okay. 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 Thank you. I'm seeing some responses. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. No problems. Put what you think it should be from your understanding, Adini. Although I was calling you, but you didn't answer. Put what you think might just be the answer. Adini Adedolapo. Okay. Okay. Okay, thank you. So I think I'm good to go. I want to look for somebody that will explain. Gloria, one of the explain why you picked. Did you pick? Wait. Oh no, Gloria did not pick. Okay, Zeno. Tell me why you picked A. Oh, Koa, you're good now, right? That's good. Zeno, tell me why you picked A.
Good evening, sir.
Good evening, Zeno.
Okay, I picked A because the question said an integral field will contain values between and including 1 to 15. So 1 to 15 is like a group on its own. So the option A says less than 1, which is one group, 1 through 15, which is one group according to the question, and then more than 15. That was why I picked A.
Are you a new tester, an old one?
I actually picked AO. I'm not sure if you saw mine, but I said more than
I know it's
15
A
should
you
not be
picked.
there.
Oh, Gloria.
Yes, I picked A, but I said more than 15 shouldn't be there because we are working with 1 to 15. So I don't know why there's more than 15 there. That's why I got confused. But
Okay,
I
that's
wrote
good.
it, I picked A, but there should not be more than 15. More than 15.
Like that. Okay, in the Tibogo, why did you pick B? In the Chibogo, why did you pick B? I've not said the answer. None of the above. Okay, you're a star. In the Chibogo, I got that name, yeah. If you can't speak, just write. If you can't speak, then let me know. I'll pick somebody else. Ndidi Chibogo. Ndidi is not around. Alfred Nna. Alfred Nna.
Yeah, can you hear me, please? I think
Yes,
my
please. I
network.
can hear you. Go ahead. Why did you pick B?
Okay, so I chose B because anything lesser than 1 is said to be negative.
Including 0.
Smart. Anything less than
Continue.
1.
Explain. Come again. I can't find any answer there. Oh, beautiful. Continue, Alfred. Are you done?
Yeah, so anything less than 1. So basically, anything less than 1 is said to be negative, and we don't recognize 0.
Yeah. All right. Thank you. Any other person wants to answer before I give the answer? Because nobody picks C and D. So I think we are comfortable in between A and B. So I'll start with B, right? Computer language is 0 and 1. 0 is never negative. So ensure that you put 0 into perspective when answering questions. Remember, I told you that in ISTQB, they want to tweak your brain a bit. So don't rush to answer. Read it through, think it through. 0 is not a negative number. So number B is not part of the options. Because I've even seen that negative number first, I will run away. Is there anything like -0? Anybody? You can put on the chat box. If there is, let me learn from you. If there's not, let me also learn from you. No. There's nothing like -0. And 0 is still a number. Because you can use 0.9. You can use 0.999. You can use 0.9999995. When we get to boundary value analysis, I will show you why I'm picking that out. So the correct answer is actually A. Less than 1. 1 through 15 is a partition. More than 15. Now to answer Gloria's question. Now, in equivalence partitioning, what they give you is your valid data. Now, in your valid data, you must check for before the data and after the data. In equivalence partitioning, you must check before the data and after the data. I use the numbers to explain to us so that we'll be able to first understand what equivalence partitioning is. So now applying it is what is given to you is valid. 1 to 10 is valid. -1 is not valid. Less than 1 is not amongst what is given to you. Are you confused?
Yes.
No, sir, I'm not.
Okay. They say, go and look for Shoyombo Deborah revelation in the crowd of 10 people. The only valid thing that they sent you to look for is Shoyombo Deborah revelation. Now, when you go into the crowd, the only thing that is valid is Shoyombo Deborah revelation. If you find Koyombo Deborah revelation, it is invalid. If you find Shoyombo Deborah revel, it is invalid. The only valid thing is Shoyombo Deborah revelation. So in equivalence partitioning, you have your valid data, which is what is given to you. Then you have 2 invalids. The 2 invalids are 1 at the beginning, 1 at the end. I know I have problems, so that's why I'm taking my time. If you are confused, let me know.
Sir, can I ask a question?
Go ahead, please.
Okay, so now, for example, what you're trying to say is, from this question here, since it says between and including 1 to 15, then it means anything before 1 and anything after 15 is invalid, right?
Thank you.
All right, thank you very much, sir.
So when you want to test, you will test before 1, you will test after 15. If you test before 1 and it passes, that's a defect. If you test after 15 and it passes, that's a defect. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
Your yes is long.
I understand.
Okay.
Mr.
Yeah.
Chooks, I think
0.99 is still invalid because it's not 1.
Okay.
That is why negative numbers here, we did not agree for negative numbers. 0.99 is not your specification. They said test between 1 and 15. Yes. Okay. It must be between 1 and 15. Revelation, I wanted to review something.
So I think I understand better. You're saying that for us to look for a defect, right, is maybe we're giving a value of 1 to 15. If we should test for maybe like 0 and it passes, and we test for a number like 17 and it passes, that's a defect. Something is wrong, right? So the test should 1 to 15. Okay, so that was what made A the correct answer. Wow.
That means that means the explanation you gave us as first was what confused us then.
That confused you, not us.
That confused me.
Thank you.
Because you kind of gave us like half the definition. We're not even done because you should have told us that, oh, we are supposed to test for like less than, then more than. That's like the defects there.
Give
But I
me the
understand
first
it now.
explanation.
I understand
Okay,
it now, Sha.
Okay, thank you. So what I explained first, what it means, what equivalence partition means. That was what I explained.
Okay, so now you're not applying it and testing.
Oh, the Lord is the gospel.
Because if he has not a mindset of 1 to 15, like we should look for, like it should pass through 1 to 15, we would not be able to arrive to our answer of getting A, even though we are not so sure with it. Do you understand?
Yes, I understand.
I think that's what he's trying to say.
Yeah, I understand.
So you
Thank
now
you.
understand the concept, right?
Yes, I do.
You are no more confused.
Yes. Thank you.
So we can
Maybe you can
continue.
just ask another question, Mr. Chicks. Maybe we can bring another example.
Mr. Chooks, can I explain my own understanding?
Abimbola, go on.
Can I? Yeah. So my own understanding about this, from the question you have, which of the following is a valid collection? I have a 3 partitioning here, which is invalid, valid, and invalid. And under this invalid, I have less than 1, which is what you have for option A. And I have 1 through to 15, which is 1 through to 15. And I have 16 less than equal to 16. So it is either it is 16 less than or equal to 16. So it cannot be 15. It should be 16. So when it is more than 15, then it is invalid. So since I have invalid, and what I'm looking for is valid, and it is between 1 to 15, so I can work with option A. Or what do you think?
So you got 16, right?
No. I said that you have 3 partitioning here now. Am I correct?
Yes.
Okay, so from these 3 partitioning, what you requested of us is to get a valid collection. Fine, we have A and B. A and B has 1 through to 15, 1 through to 15 as their valid collection. But the other partitioning here, which has invalid and invalid, says here less than 1. The option B here is writing negative numbers. We don't have that. We have less than 1, which is what was here, what is stated here. And we have 16 less than or equal to, which is still more than 15, which is what is stated here. So because you're having a negative number, which is not reflecting in what you have in this first partition, that's why it's giving us a failed or a wrong answer. So our option A will be our option. Am I correct,
Thank
sir?
you, Abimbola. Yes.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir.
So you must stay within your boundary. Don't manufacture a requirement that they did not give you. So we can continue, right? Now, boundary value analysis is a technique based on exercising the boundary of equivalence partitions. Therefore, BVA can only be used for ordered partitions. The minimum and maximum values of a partition are its boundary values. I will give you an example before I continue. What can you see on my screen?
Money. Money.
Money. Oh my God. Somebody likes money. Please look at the interest on this screen. Look at the interest on the screen and tell me what you notice. The interest. What do you notice at the interest part?
Yeah,
Anybody?
14.000002%.
2%.
14.00000 in
Can anybody see that?
2%.
Okay,
Yes.
everybody can see that, right? Now,
Yes.
this is where I work at the moment. And then it's a bank. You see this 2% here, 0.0000002. It changes the amount we will pay back to this person. Just this 0.00002. It changes the amount we are to pay this person. I've forgotten the amount that it was. Which introduces me to equivalence partitioning. Sorry, boundary value analysis. Go back. By the way, there are two types. There is 2-point boundary value analysis, and then there's 3-point boundary value analysis. So I'll use equivalence partition to explain it. This 0 now, somebody asked in the chat box, what about 0.99? 0.99 is not your specification. Your specification is 1. 15.00000001 is not your specification. 15 is your specification. In this picture, 14.00, you see where the 2 went to hide, right? This is a bank. If they come for auditing, they will say that somebody has committed fraud because of 0.0000002.
And wow.
Thank you. Boundary value analysis. You see that to ordinary 2. Don't say it doesn't matter. God have mercy. That 2 will cause, it can cause the shutting down of a bank. It can cause, as a matter of fact, the first rocket that blew in space, the first rocket they did, it was, I think it was 0.00000.1 difference that made that rocket to blow. And they neglected it because it was a black woman that said so. A mad mathematician. So what I'm saying in essence is testing at the boundaries is what boundary value analysis is all about. So let's use our 1 to 15 example. 1 to 15 example. If I test 0.0000000000009, it must fail. If I test 15.000000000.0000005 or 9, it must fail. If it does not fail, there is a defect. Do we understand boundary value analysis?
Yes, sir.
So I can continue. Do you understand? There's assignment to classwork.
Yes, sir.
Say it again. Like, can you please just go back? Wait,
Okay.
definition. I don't
Come
understand.
again. Okay, so let me explain again. Vivian, boundary value analysis is testing at the boundary of your specification. Just like this picture I showed here. the interest rate here was supposed to be 14%, right? David, I know, please calm down. The interest rate is 14%, but I carried out a boundary value analysis on it, and I found out that 14.0002 was passing. Meanwhile, the company says it should be 14%. Vivian, do you understand? Thank you. Okay. No other person does not understand. So I'll go to explaining the 2 points boundary value analysis and then the 3 points boundary value analysis. There's no comparison between both, right? But it's just for better confidence. I'll repeat, just for better. Yes, thank you, Revelation. No pass your boundary. The 2 BVA or the 3 BVA simply says, check for the 2 now, check your specification -1. Check your specification, that's the higher boundary, by +1. LB stands for lower boundary or left boundary. The RB stands for the right boundary. That is between that 1 and 15, check -1. That's where negative starts. Check 15 + 1. That's the 2 points boundary value analysis. In the 3 points, it says you have checked the lower boundary -1. You will check the lower boundary itself, and then you will now check the lower boundary +1. In the upper boundary or the right boundary, you check the right boundary -1, which should fall in between the valid boundary, and then you still check the boundary itself, you check the boundary +1. What it simply means is, according to, now I'm using 3 points, 3-point analysis of boundary value analysis, 3-point analysis of BVA. It says, check -1 on this invalid, right? Check 1 and still check 2. In this 15 again, check 14, check 15, check 16. This middle one is just for more confidence. It's for more Davido. Give me assurance. Do you understand? If you understand, please put yes, so that I'll continue. Oh, it's past 9 already. Please, let's sharp. If you understand, let me continue. I see I'm taking my time here because this is what concerns us more. So that's why I'm taking my time. The other ones, I can afford to rush through them. Somebody say no. Ukoa, you don't understand?
I didn't understand, sir.
Okay. So let me come back to this picture. Can you see my screen?
Yes, yes, I can see.
Okay. So the boundaries are 1, lower boundary, and 2 is the higher boundary. 15 rather is the higher boundary, right? Boundary value analysis says ensure 1 is working as valid, and ensure -1 is not working as invalid. ensure 15 is working as valid, and ensure 15 plus 1 is not working as invalid. Do you understand to that point?
Yes.
Okay. Now, there are two types of boundary value analysis. There's the 2 point and then there's the 3 point. The 2 point is what I've first explained. You don't compare them. They stand alone. You can use any of the two and you are good to go. So the 2 point says, as you have checked -1 and you have checked 1, you are good to go for the lower side. As you have checked 15, you have checked 16, you are good to go. Now the 3 point says, check -1, check 1, and check 2. Check 14, check 15, and check 16. 2, you know 1 here is passing, right, as valid.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
2 should also pass since it's valid. Are you lost?
I understand, sir. Please continue.
So I can continue. Vivian Vincent, are you good?
Yes, I am.
Oh, okay, thank you. You catch the rest by the Spirit. Okay. Please, when you're working in a financial establishment, open your eyes because they will ask who tested it. Thank God I saw this one. If I did not see this one, they will come and say, choose, jail, straight, and I know they. Aha, assignment. Classwork. Ah, what's the time? Sorry, let me check time.
So
9:09.
please, can you show us the BVA 2 and 3 again? I want to be sure of what I've taken note. Yes.
This one.
Yes. Okay, I'm correct. Thanks, sir.
Okay. So classwork. 84 slides. We are seeing number 2. Please, I'll skip the classwork. We are seeing number 2. I want to be sure I finish at least this for let it be simple. Sorry, I'll not do it again. Time is already gone. We have fast spent our time. Let me quickly explain the remaining 2. Decision table testing. This helps you make decisions. Simply put, it's either you are yes or you are no. It's used for testing the implementation of system requirements that specify how different combinations of conditions result in different outcomes. So if you take one step, take the second step, take the third step, will you be in your house? Now, depending on the number of steps, don't worry, David, hang on. All the assignments. Just wait first. Decision table testing says you have a whole lot of values, right? Based on these values, what decision would you take? I'll use this to explain. What is the expected result for each of the following test cases? You have your conditions, and then you have your rules. In decision tables, you have these 2 things, conditions and rules. Some people will call it actions, right? So user X, Citibank card member holding a silver room, non-Citibank member holding a platinum room. A, don't offer any upgrade. B, don't offer any upgrade. So what is the expected result for each of the following test cases? So condition 1, user X, Citibank card member holding a silver room. Citibank member is holding a silver room, type of room. Yes. User Y, non-Citibank member holding non-Citibank member
Platinum.
holding a platinum ring. It passes, right? So don't, this question looks like it's not complete.
Yes, because where is the part for the non-Citibank member? All these rules look like they apply to just the Citibank card
No,
member.
see your rule 3 and rule 4. When you see no, it means they are not Citibank card members.
Okay.
So the action, okay, yeah, I've gotten it. So what they are asking for here is the condition will determine the action you are taking. Right? So is a Citi card member holding a silver room, Citi card member holding a silver room, you offer upgrade to gold. Offer upgrade to gold under this action, right? Non-Citi member holding a platinum room, non-Citi, no Citi member holding a platinum room, offer upgrade to where is this gold? It's not here. This is what we picked before, right? No, this is one we picked before. Don't offer any upgrade.
No, that's for rule 1 and rule 2, right?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
So you are matching your conditions to your rules to know the action you would take. So these are your options. Option A says don't offer any upgrade. Offer upgrade to gold luxury. When rule 1, Citi member type of room, yes. Offer upgrade to silver, not available. Rule 2, Citi card member with type of room, platinum, don't offer upgrade to gold. You can only offer to silver. Citi card member, non-Citi card member with the silver room, don't upgrade to gold. You cannot answer. Non-Citi card member with the platinum room, don't offer upgrade and don't offer upgrade to both gold and silver. So please mute your mic, Adebimpe. Adebimpe, please mute your mic. So from here, we can say
Mr. Chus, I think you can mute it for her.
Yeah. Thank you. Where was I? Okay, so going from the options, we are going to be choosing the one that will pass. Number A says don't offer any upgrade. Option B says don't offer any upgrade, meaning the person is not a Citi card member and then is holding a silver room. This analogy is confusing, right? Or are you guys getting it?
I'm confused though.
Yes.
So, sir, he's saying that the person is not a Citi member and the person is in a room, is in silver room, but the person is supposed to be in platinum room. So since the person is not a Citibank member and the person is in silver room, then rule number 3 is no. Because
Exactly.
a non-Citibank member should be holding a platinum room, not a silver room. Okay.
So that's correct. So what I would do is this. I would try to look for another example. Please remind me so that we'll explain this guy again. Well, because of time, I want to skip it. Right. I will skip it for now because this example is a bit tedious and I feel I'll confuse you more. But just note that a decision table gives you options in order for you to make a very good decision. I'll repeat that. Your decision table gives you options in order for you to be able to make a very good decision. This I was showing here is a decision table with conditions that will help you take the right action. So let me continue. State transition. A state transition diagram, or let me rephrase that. A state transition can only be done with a state transition diagram. State transition testing can only be done with a state transition diagram. And this diagram models the behavior of a system by showing its possible states and valid state transitions. Note, in state transition testing, the invalids are not displayed on the diagram. Note that in state transition testing, the invalid states are not displayed on the diagram. Please take note of that, very, very essential. In state transition testing, you don't see the invalid transition as part of the diagram. So we continue. Please, whoever is annotating on the board should not annotate again before. Okay. I think that works. So this is a diagram showing state transition. This is a state transition diagram. Now we want to test. There are three options here, and there are only two states you can go to in this diagram. From the diagram, if you go from S1 to S2, it is valid. If you go from S2 to S1, it is valid. If you go from S2 to S3, it is valid. If you go from S3 to S2, it is valid. If you go from S3 to S1, it is invalid. If you go from S1 to S3, it is invalid. So if they ask you a question, give me the invalid transitions in this state transition diagram. Your first transition would be S1 to S3. The second one would be S3 to S1. Do we understand that?
Please, can you come again? You said S1 to S3.
Okay, let me start from the beginning. Invalid transitions are not displayed on a state transition diagram. Invalid transitions are not displayed on a state transition diagram. So in your testing, you are only testing you're only seeing rather the valid transitions in your diagram. You are only seeing your valid transitions. So from this diagram, somebody give me one valid transition. Anybody, you can chat, you can speak.
S2 to S3.
S2 to S3, thank you. Another one.
S1 to S2.
Thank you. So now, what are the possible other ways you can move in this diagram? Anybody, what other possible ways can you
S3
move?
to S2.
Okay, that's valid.
S2 to S1.
That's valid. Now, remove all these valid transitions. As a human being now, you can want to move from S1 to S3, right?
Yes.
Yes.
But because it's not in the diagram, that S1 to S3 is invalid. Do you get that?
Yes.
So anything that is not in the diagram but is possible is an invalid transition. Anything that is not in the state transition diagram but is possible is an invalid transition. Example, from S1 to S3 is invalid. From S3 to S1 is invalid. Do you understand that?
Correct.
Okay, so I can continue. I'll still explain this again.
So is it because of the arrows, Abi?
Yes, so that's what I
Oh,
said.
okay.
Anything that is not in the diagram is invalid. The arrows are your transitions, meaning you can go from S1 to S2, you can go from S2 to S1. Peradventure, this S2 to S1 arrow was not there. S2 to S1 would be an invalid transition. Do you understand?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So now another example. The black, look at the black ice to vapor. Let's even use natural water. Natural water, can you go from ice to vapor?
Sure. Yes.
No. How
Hmm?
can you get to vapor?
You have to boil
Through
it.
evaporation, sir.
Ice, once heat is applied.
Yes, once it's under heat, it can go to vapor.
So I believe that explains it. So your invalid transition is from ice to vapor or from vapor to ice. A valid transition is your ice can melt to water. If you boil it, it gets to vapor. If you condense it, it gets back to water. If you put it in the refrigerator, it gets back to ice. So that's a valid transition. But if you say you want to turn ice to vapor, it might just be the next star in the world, you know.
So when we boil the ice and open the pot down, it turns to vapor, it goes.
When
So
you
it's
boil
just
the
like
ice, you
saying,
already boil it now.
it's just like saying you can't go from morning to night. You have to go from morning to afternoon, afternoon to
Thank
night.
you.
And you can't just go from
Exactly.
morning to night.
But you can go from night to morning.
You can go from night to morning. Exactly.
So night to morning is a valid transition, but morning to night is not a valid
It's not
transition.
valid.
So we are good, right? State transition.
Yes,
Class
sir.
work.
Yeah. Oh, wow.
Mr. Chicks, you're not joking today. This classwork is just.
Yes, for everyone, please. For everyone. This is a technique you will always use. Right? So
Based on
if
the
you have
given.
a good hand on it, you'll be fine. That's why I'm giving you classwork. I want to know the time. What's the time now? Please, what's the time? I can't get to see time on my system. Okay, 9:25. So I think this is the last classwork for today. So based on the given state transition diagram of a switch, which of the following test cases is invalid? Look at your options. Give me your answers in the chat box. Your answers in the chat box. Based on the given state transition diagram of a switch, which of the following test case is invalid? I believe you can still see the question. C and D. Oh boy. That begin to. Vivian said C. You can still see the question, right?
No, we
Hello?
can't.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay. Based on the given state transition diagram, give me answers. Sharp. We have not talked about the other test techniques, although they are not to our concern, but you should just know about it. So I want to dwell on this specifically. Are we good?
Yes, we are good.
C. Okay, Akim Adegoke, why did you pick D? I've not picked the answer. Even me, I've not checked for the answer. But Akim Adegoke, why did you pick D? Akim Adegoke, you picked D. Can you explain why you picked D? Akim, are you there? Everybody's just picking C. What happened? Philip, why did you pick D? Usman picked C and D. When Philip finished, Usman, you explain.
Pick D because you can't move from S1 to S2, that is off to fourth. But you can move from on to fourth, and you can move from fourth to on. You can move from off to on to off. But you cannot move from off to fourth, and fourth cannot move from fourth to off.
Oh, you have confused me.
The answer is not even there.
Huh? The answer is not
I
there.
don't think the answer is there because you can't move from fourth to off or off
You
to
can't move from
fourth.
fourth to off.
Yes, or off to fourth. So, but what one option should have been off to fourth or either fourth to off. So it's not. I don't think because you can move from on to fourth. You can move from fourth to on.
Yes,
So-
now which means one answer has to be wrong now, which is the D. Which is
They
wrong
said
there.
which one is invalid?
No,
Which
but
one is
The
there's
D is the only invalid here now. The rest are valid.
the arrows that indicate the ones that are valid, and from what is being shown there, the fourth to on is the one that is valid.
Even if without the arrow, you're supposed to know that, oh, from here, it's in one direction.
Guys, who that calm down?
From one direction, on, off, and forth. They are like on a straight line.
There's an answer. Elaleko is here. Elaleko, come and explain. You can't move from fourth to
Usman,
on.
Usman,
Okay, Usman, you pick C and D. Please explain. Usman pick C and
yes,
D.
sir.
Okay, go ahead.
From the question for invalid, right?
Yes.
From the transition diagram you showed us, there has to be transition between one box with the other. For example, now there is transition between on and off, and also there is transition between on and on. But there is no transition between on to fault because there is no linkage between the two of them. Once it goes, it can't come back. So I think that's why I picked C and D. You can't have a transition between fault to on. Also, you can't have a transition between on to fault. It only takes place between on and off.
Okay. Olaleko, go ahead.
Okay, good evening, everyone.
Interesting. Oh, wait, Olaleko, wait. Let me hear Augustina. Olaleko, hang on, please. Augustina Daniel, please go ahead. What did you pick now?
Okay, so good evening. Okay,
Good
so
evening.
looking at the diagram, right?
Yes.
You can see that you can move from off to on and on to off. And the diagram as well is telling us that we can move from on to fault, but there is no one indicating that we can move from fault to on. So I think that is the invalid.
Okay. Olaleko, you want to say something? Oh, Mr. Amos, you're welcome. It's good to see you.
Yeah, good evening.
Yeah, Olaleko, go ahead.
Like other people explanation, it's quite obvious that C is the right answer there. The reason being that, we have three states here. That's state 1, state 2, and state 3. So I'm going by the arrow. You can see that you can transition state 1 to state 2, and you can as well transition from state 2 back to state 1. However, you can as well transition from state 2 to state 3, but you can't go from state 3 to state 2. That is not possible. But with state 3, you can, cycle on it, like from state 3, remain on state 3 forever. You understand? So that's the reason why C is the only option that is correct.
Okay. All right, thank you. Sachi, you wanted to say something? Sachi?
Just like he explained. So, like
Yeah.
I said, for the boxes, like the arrows, is what indicates the validity. So it's from the diagram that we have here, it's showing us that from off to on is valid, from on to off is valid, but from false to on is invalid, and from on to false is also valid. So the answer here is C, that is the only one that is invalid.
Okay, please give me a minute. Let me get my system plugged. Hang on. But you can keep deliberating amongst yourselves. This will be interesting.
When you can transit from one state to the other, so definitely you should be able to transit.
You can even go from fault to fault. Yes.
Everywhere is quiet though. Are we having a test?
The people that choose they can keep educating us, so because before it comes.
Okay.
I seriously brainstorming. No.
Okay, so while we are also waiting for him, please, if there's anyone that your name has appeared on this Zoom call is not what it is that you signed up with, you might be confusing us on getting accurate attendance. So please just help us check. And I'll be dropping the attendance link on the chat box now, so that we can start filling.
Gary, I don't understand though. Do you mean people should name their devices according to the name in the registered for the training, or I'm not sure I got.
Yes, exactly. Because I think there are two names that are appearing on this call, but the name is not. I can't find the name on the main
Mention the
attendance that we
names
have.
now.
That's the name registered with.
Mention the names. What are the names?
Yes, I already mentioned the three of them on the call. I mean, on the Slack channel.
Oh, okay.
So
Let
one
me
person
check.
has gotten across to me. So I guess it.
Okay.
So
I'll
just
check.
one. I have one more person.
Okay, I'll check.
All right, I'm back. Okay. I didn't know my son was going down. Okay, so the correct answer is actually, let's run it together. The first option says off to on. Is that a valid transition? Is it a valid transition off to on?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. The
Yes,
second one,
it
B,
is.
says on to off. Is it a valid
Yes.
transition?
Yes, it is.
The
Yes.
third one says fault to on. Fault to on.
No, it's not.
Is it a valid
Invalid.
transition?
No.
No.
Huh?
No. No.
Somebody say yes. Did somebody say yes? Okay. From on to fault, is it a valid transition?
Yes.
Yes.
So our correct answer is what? C. Those are Pixie and D, and those are confused. in that city. So they decided to confuse you with this rotating arrow. This is where there is an issue, and this is why your switch is not working, because it's looping itself. It's not going from on to off or from off to on. Here, that's why you have an issue with your switch. You know some switch in the house that if you press it, press, it never comes off. There's a fault somewhere. It's not moving from where it's supposed to move from to where it's supposed to move to. Any question? Boyinde, I believe you are clear. Osman, I believe you are clear.
Yes,
Gloria,
sir.
you are clear, right?
Yes, sir.
Yes, I'm clear.
Okay, so now just rush over this one. Please repeat, Ke. Benjamin, you go and meet some of your classmates at this point. Or what do you want me to repeat first? We are very behind schedule. This is 9:38. Okay. I think I can spare you the repetition. What do you want me to repeat, Benjamin? Please be fast. My last statement says that faults to on is the issue. There are some switches in the house that it's always on. No matter what you press, it never goes off. That switch, there's a fault, it's just there. That's one of the example of state transition from off to on to off, like that. Your switch is an example of a state transition testing. Are we together? All right, so going to the next category, thank you. Going to the next category, which does not, for our level, concern us, is white box testing, and it comes in with two: statement testing and branch testing. I will not explain it. You can, as a matter of fact, assignments, write short notes on state testing and branch testing. Dari, assignment. Henry, assignment. Write short notes on state testing and branch testing from the ISTQB manual. And while you are at it, okay, I will add to it: state testing, statement coverage, statement testing and statement coverage. Also, branch testing and branch coverage. Write short notes. Dari, are you here?
Yes, I'm
Dari,
trying to get. Yes, I'm trying to get it. Get the picture taken too.
get what?
I'm with you. I'm with you. I'm trying to get the image
I will
or
repeat
the
my
slide.
assignment. Give me a short note on statement testing and statement coverage. 1. Give me a short note on branch testing and branch coverage. It's just for your
Noted.
knowledge. If you are going to automated testing, then you might want to actually now delve deeper into this. Or if you want to test a technical specification document, the data diagram, that flow chart, you can want to, but for now, take it by faith. Experience-based test technique is another one that we as testers can use. Remember when we were doing black box testing, I said if you are not testing with a requirement, a specification, with a document, what you are doing is not called a black box testing. When you are testing without a document, one of the things you can do is called exploratory testing. You are just checking, maybe based on your experience. You used apps before, and then they told you, okay, you have used 10 different banking apps. Then I'll say, okay, because we know you use banking apps regularly, please come and help us check this banking app. So what you're doing is exploratory testing based on your experience. At times, you can do exploratory testing not based on experience, but based on just based on you. Okay, so you can also do exploratory testing even without experience. Now, this is not ISTQB, just telling you due to experience. There are sometimes you can just go to any app and then you just do an exploratory test just to see, okay, let me just play around. But majorly, exploratory testing should be done with experience. Error guessing is also based on experience. Because you have used this app a whole lot of times, you can be able to say one or two things about a banking app. Let's say you have a friend now, you are working in a bank, and then you have a developer friend who developed a new app, a banking app. He can tell you, Lekon, I know you work in the bank and then you test their bank apps. Please help me and check this my app. You can error guess that, oh, this thing as it's going like this, it will not work perfectly. As it's going like this, it will not work perfectly. Then the last one, which is checklist-based testing, is where you have a checklist, where you have a number of criteria which you must check. In the checklist-based testing, you must have a document which will tell you number 1, number 2, number 3, number 4, number 5, number 6, to number as many as they want. That is checklist-based testing. In the checklist-based testing, if you check number 1, it passes, you tick it. If you check number 2, it passes, you tick it. You check number 3, it doesn't pass, you put an X. Any question on these 3? Any question on these 3? Any question on the 3? I'm working in a bank.
Please, I have to talk about the error guessing.
Okay, error guessing. Because you have used a banking app for 10 years, right? You can be able to, at just looking at what the developer developed, say that this thing is not going to end well. Do you understand, Gloria?
Yes, sir.
Any other question?
So you can look at it and know if there will be an error or not.
Yes, based on your experience. That's why it's called experience-based testing.
Okay.
Based on your experience, you have used countless numbers, and then you just know that. Okay, so bringing back what Udemet talked about yesterday, based on our experience, you knew that the timing for WhatsApp status is supposed to be from here to here. Based on her usage, she was like, that's an error. So she was able to guess that error correctly. And if you go to WhatsApp, they'll actually tell you that it's a defect based on experience. Are we good?
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir.
All right. Olalekan, you're on your own.
Hi, Jokes.
Hi, who is speaking?
So, I think that was yesterday or the day before yesterday when you were showing us some of your work you're currently doing in your Google doc. I don't, or maybe I'm not really getting the name of the platform. I can see where you have but you have list of what to check. In front of it, I saw something like done. Some of it I saw something like pending. Some of it I saw something like pass. Is it the same thing as checklist testing?
You can use that checklist, yes.
Okay.
Because those are the things I want to check based on the specification.
Okay.
This one is English. I've explained this one before, how the application has worked in the past. Exploratory tests I've explained. Okay, so one thing extra I need to explain is what is called a test charter. A test charter is more like a plan. It's more like a test plan. What we want to achieve in this software is to ensure that I can send money from point A to point B. The document tells you that, oh yeah, go and test it. So your test charter is more or less a document explain what you want to test. the main objective, the main thing we want to do is to send money from point A to point B. Now, based on your experience, go and use these documents and test. You now know that, okay, to send money, you need bank account number. If there's no bank account number in the app, then you know that, oh, this is an error. You know that it's supposed to have VAT, and then there's no VAT in the implemented software. You know that's an error, or sorry, that's a defect. When you also check and then it's not bringing the recipient's name, you also know that that's a defect. When you try to send money and then you can send money that's above the user's balance, you know that that's a defect. So based on your experience, you use that test charter to do whatever you need to do. I've already explained this one yesterday. Test plan. But there's something I did not speak about. When you get this document, you can read through. I can't hear you. Please, is somebody's network glow or is glowing? Can anybody hear me?
I hear you, sir.
Okay.
Yes,
Abiola, try and change
I hear
where
you,
you
sir.
are. Okay,
But your
cool.
voice went low at some point in time.
Oh, okay. All right. So a test plan simply describes the objectives, resources, and processes. You can read this. What I wanted to bring out from here is the typical contents of a test plan. The context of testing, that's the scope, the test objective, the constraints, which can be maybe money or anything that is the constraint of the business, the test basis, the assumptions, the stakeholders, their roles, their responsibilities, the mode of communication, the frequency of communication, the risk, your test approach, test level, test type, whether it's going to be an automated test, whether it's going to be a manual test, if you're going to be doing performance tests on it. All these are contained in your test plan. And this is where I am going to end. Requirement traceability matrix is also a document which helps to check the process and progress of the project. I'll repeat that. Your requirement traceability matrix helps to check the process and the progress of your project. At the beginning, we said you will have 10 testers. In the middle, you're only having 2. The RTM will say, what's happening here? That document is plain to everybody to know, okay, this is where we are at. This is why we are where we are at. This is what we should do to get to where we need to be. So it's simply a document that checks the process and the progress, which is very important, the progress of the project. There are plenty of requirements: product requirement, functional requirement, technical requirement, business compliance, and user requirements. With these very few points of mine, I want to say thank you for coming to my class. Any question? I think I can see one question in the chat box. Oh, 9:51. I think today is the longest I've taken. Where's my chat box? What's the main difference between test strategy and test policy? Test policy, they say don't do automated testing in this company. The only thing we want to do in this company is manual testing. Is a policy. If you go and bring automated testing, they will fire you. That's a policy. Your test strategy, you can start with automated testing. You can start with manual testing to ensure we have enough coverage, and then we graduate to automated testing. That's the strategy for the company. Alalekon, do you understand? Olalekan. All right, thank you everybody for coming to my class. It was a pleasure being your lecturer, your teacher, your guide, your friend, and everything for this year. Thank you, everybody. I hand you over back to our beautiful moderator, Udemo.
Thank you, Sir Chooks. Thanks everyone for hanging in. We have not even said bye-bye. Some people have left the call. Well, thanks everyone for hanging in till now. I know it's late. See you guys tomorrow. Sorry, Thursday. See you on Thursday. Please do well to submit the assignments. Any further announcements will be dropped in the channel. Please read information on the channel. Someone was still asking for meeting link. The first day I dropped the link, I said it would be the same link we use. So please, guys, there are QAs. Read instructions, read information, please. Thanks, everyone. Have a lovely night.
Thank you.